Morning. All right, we'll get started in just a minute. 2 blocks and something to sit on. If you know you have a very, very tight hamstrings and you want to grab a strap or a scarf, that could be good too. So 2 blocks, something to sit on, and maybe a strap. All right. So take your time as you're getting set up and ready. I'm just going to start on whatever you've chosen to sit on, nice and comfortable. Letting your spine feel lifted and pretty stacked in your vertebrae. And then take the backs of your hands to your legs so your palms face up. Your shoulders can wiggle on your back a bit more. You can allow your eyes to close. Go right away to find your breath. Without forcing it to change yet, just see what your natural Friday morning breath is like today. Where is your breath the most prominent? What part of your body do you feel move the most with your natural breathing? And then how quickly or how slowly is your air going in? How quickly or how slowly is your air leaving your body? Are you mainly breathing into the front panel of your body? Or is there a little bit of movement at your sides? Or a little bit of movement on your back? And after you've taken all these observations about your breath this morning, find a breath that's going to make you feel calm and centered in this first seated time, these seated moments. And that might be a little different for all of us. A different pace, a different place in your body where you feel your breath the most. But feel it where it makes you feel grounded. Move the breath to that space in your body. Makes you feel centered. And then decide the best way that's going to keep you with your breath. So whether that's mentally repeating inhale and exhale, whether that's counting your rounds of breath, or being the observer of your breath. Coming back to the feelings of pace and place in your breath. How slowly and where you feel it the most. With every breath in and every breath out. Feel an extra little lift at the back of your skull. A little bit more relaxation in your shoulders and softness at your palms. Just a couple more minutes. Again, working to find and stay with the breath in the way that feels the most grounding, most balanced for you today. Come back to notice the pace of your own breathing and the place where you feel it the most as you inhale and exhale. Without changing much, simply lift your hands off your legs and bring them together in front of your chest. Notice the texture and the temperature of your palms and your fingers as they gently rest together. Allow your elbows to be soft by your sides. And just see what comes up for you here. If you'd like to set a certain tone for your practice today, or set a tone for your entire day, now's a nice time to bring that up. When you're ready, bring your chin to your chest, slowly open your eyes. Take a quick gaze at your fingertips, and then interlace your fingers together. Exhale, press your palms forward, round your back, cat stretch. Inhale, slowly lifting up, palms to the ceiling, reaching through the skin of your hands. Exhale, slowly pressing back, tucking your head down. So really steady. Inhale up. And exhale back. Work with your inhale through your nose. Exhale can be out your nose, out your mouth. Really time out. So the exhale, you're getting into that seated cat stretch. And the inhale, you're feeling your palms move towards the ceiling. You can breathe with your lips slightly parted, your teeth relaxed. Just a few more times. Make it 1 to 2 more rounds, just depending on your pace. And then as you come up, exhale, release your fingers, float your arms down nice and slow. So your fingertips move towards the ground. Good. Switch the cross of your legs. And then working towards our first seated twist. Right hand, left leg, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, gently turn at your belly, maybe up into your neck. We're going to stay here for at least 5 breaths. Thinking about being upright on your inhale and turning on your exhale. And they can just be in really small increments. One more. Working to release your twist on an inhale. Sit in the center. Take a pausing moment with your eyes open or closed. And then to the other side. Left hand, right leg, anywhere from your thigh to your knee. Right arm behind. Up as you breathe in. Turn as you exhale. And another slow 5 breaths. Equally thoughtful on your in and exhale. Doing your best to stay nice and upright. And feeling most of the twist at your middle back and right at your belly. When you're completed, release your twist on an inhale. Stretch both of your arms up. And then exhale, hinge forward very gently, very lightly. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk your fingers a little bit farther forward and then as far over to the left as you can. Reaching your right arm farther than your left arm, starting to feel your right kidney space, your right lower back. About 5 breaths here, slow in, slow out. Start to move back to the middle on an inhale, and only when you feel good and ready. And then over to your right side, allowing your left arm to reach a little farther than your right arm. Allowing your breath to dive all the way down towards your left lower back, your left little kidney. One more round. Or just until you feel even as you move back to center. Slowly reach up, arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, 1 cactus arm, bending your elbows, lifting your chest, spreading your fingers, and then really squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. Exhale, relax your arms. Come off anything you're sitting on, and then give yourself enough space to stretch both of your legs straight out in front. And if you do want to sit on something, maybe a little folded blanket here, just take a couple times bending your knees, straightening your knees. And you can support yourself with your arms by your side so your spine stays nice and tall. So you're just straightening on your inhale, bending on your exhale. If you like to hyperextend it all, try to hold yourself back a little bit so you don't get into that locked position with your knees. Everyone sit up just a little bit taller from the very top of your head. Yep. Good. One more time each. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale, staff pose, arms up, Dandasana. Feel the bony parts of your behind on the floor or on the blanket. Breathe in. Exhale, arms by your sides. Lean with your torso. Keep a tiny bend in your knees. Inhale, come back up. Staff pose, and then exhale, let your hands go about halfway to your feet, so a really wide V with your arms. Yep, hinge. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, arms straight forward, landing anywhere on your legs from your thighs to your toes. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, arms right by your sides again, leaning forward at your torso, leaning with your heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, halfway, wide V with your arms. Beautiful. Couple more. Up on your in-breath. Arms parallel to your legs. Exhale. Now go through that 2 more times with each arm variation. So by your side, halfway, and then parallel to your legs. Really put some energy in your ankles and your toes. A lot of energy in staying focused to your breath. Good. As you come back up to the Dandasana, staff pose, reach, 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 reach all the way from your hips, your waist, your armpits, your elbows, your fingertips. Breathe in. And then exhale, take your feet a little wider, just about as wide as the mat. And then you're gonna lean forward and allow your back to round. So cat rounding your back, dropping your head, kind of like a really slumpy posture for just a moment. And then press the middle of your spine back. So just getting a little bit more rounded at the middle of your spine, tucking your chin. And then inhale, bringing yourself up. Left hand to your right leg, seated twist again. Exhale, turning away from your legs. Good, very light pressure in your back hand. Inhale, sit up, 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 up. Yep, exhale, turn at your belly button. Just one more breath. Trying to remember to always unwind as you inhale. Come to the middle. Take a pause. And then towards your left leg. Right hand anywhere from your hip to your knee. Sit up tall. Exhale. A nice gentle twist. One that feels relieving. Maybe the twist goes into your neck today. Maybe it doesn't. Good. One more inhale. Sit all the way up. And exhale. Turn. Inhale. Come back to the middle. Take a pause. Good. Exhale. Lean back. Bring your legs together. And you can either take reverse plank or reverse table. We're just going to do it one time. And it doesn't need to be full force. You can stay pretty low with your hips. Or you can lift up. Fingers pointed any direction that feels okay for your wrists. Just a little opening in your shoulders. Squeeze in your glutes. No matter which variation you're in. One more breath. Exhale, start to bring your hips down. Sit over to one side and then find your way into tabletop. So opposite. Point your feet. Go ahead and lift your feet off the ground. So you have your knees right underneath you, curling your toes. Yep, and then I really want you to push the tops of your feet down into the floor. So the front of your ankle, really stretching the top of your ankle. Good, and then tuck your toes. Stretch the sole of your feet, lean back a little bit, put some pressure on your toes. And then come back to the middle. Point your toes, lift your shins up a bit, and then I want you to firm your shins, the tops of your feet, as close to the mat as you can. Just an extra little push, and then reverse it. Tuck your toes, little lean back in your hips, stretch your feet. Relax your shoulders, long neck still. One more time. Feet up, shins up, curl. Kind of get your toes, toenails to point in, and then press it down. Reverse. Tuck your toes, bottoms of your feet. Good. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog, exhale. Heels off the ground. Feet separated, looking right at your heels, making sure they're lifted and levitated off the floor. Looking at your knees for a moment, making sure they have that small bend. The kindness of your hamstrings and the engagement of your quads. And then breathe fully here. Again, at the slow pace that works for you and the place where it feels best for your body. So maybe that's more of a belly breath or more of a chest breath today. One more inhale. Exhale, knees down, sit back to child's pose. Maybe you put some support under your forehead or just use your own arms or your hands. Inhale, come back into tabletop. Exhale, downward dog with your toes, big toes touching together. Heels still off the ground. Letting your chest move a little closer to your thighs. And you can allow your heels to descend a little bit closer to the mat, but don't force them to touch there. Breathe in. Exhale, closed knee, child's pose. Maybe you want your toes untucked or toes tucked. You might need a higher support because your belly's going right onto your lap with your knees closed together. Good. Inhale, come into table. Exhale, downward dog, big toes still together. Keep your right foot in the middle. You're going to lift your left foot up just an inch or two and take your left big toe and your left second toe, and you're kind of going to lobster claw it around your right Achilles, your right heel. And then use your left foot to nicely bring your right heel closer to the ground. It does not have to touch, and you should really feel the back of your right leg. If you're feeling too much in your shoulders, everybody walk your hands an inch closer towards your feet. Yep, couple more breaths. One more. And then take your time to switch. Release your left big toe and second toe. Left foot down. So it's like a lobster claw. Right big toe, right second toe, right at your Achilles heel. Try to keep your neck spacious as you do this and breathe into the back of your left leg. Two more breaths. Slowly release your right foot. Bring your knees down. If you have blocks, go ahead and find them. If you don't have blocks, just be aware of your hands and how you put them on the floor. As you come forward into a low runner's lunge, right foot forward, left knee back. And maybe you want to start with an untucked toe. Back up your blocks, lift through your chest, breathe in. And then exhale, shift back, half Hanuman. Inhale, shift forward, lift your heart up. So you're taking the hinge out of your hips. And then exhale, hinging forward, chest facing the ground. And start to do this at your own pace. Inhale forward, low Anjani Asana. Exhale back, half splits. Just taking your time to warm up your hips and your hamstrings. You can absolutely take more than one breath in each place. The blocks are there so you can keep your spine long as you do this. Give it up 2 more times through low lunge and half splits. Again, energy all the way to your ankles and your toes. And then when you're done, walk the blocks forward. Come into a high lunge, but your hands stay on the blocks or the floor, just lifting at your back knee. Inhale, straighten your front leg up 80% and then hinge a little bit forward. Not all the way. So both legs are straight. Spine is pretty long, just a little lean forward. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your back knee. Take a couple steps up, left foot to the top. Couple steps back with your right foot to find a low lunge with your right knee on the floor. Good idea to go ahead and back your blocks up, sit tall. Exhale, shift back, other side. Inhale, shift forward, lifted chest. Exhale, shift back, long left leg. And then same as the other side, just move at your own breath pace. Relax your jaw. Think about unhinging your hips as you come up and hinging at your hips as you lean back. And is there still a flex in your left ankle and your left toes up towards the ceiling? Think about 2 more times through each posture. As many breaths as you'd like in each. And then as you move forward, walk your blocks forward, plant your left foot, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. So your feet are in a pretty long stride. Slowly straighten your front leg, not all the way, and then a little hinge at your hips. Try not to force your forehead to your knee. Just feel that little zippy energy on the outside of your left leg. Good, one more breath in. Exhale, bend your back knee, couple steps up with your right foot, and find a half lift. And you can do it with the blocks. You can do it without the blocks. Looking straight down at the floor and feeling a long reach through your neck. Inhale, press to your feet, reach your arms out and up, come all the way to stand. Squeeze your glutes a little at the top. And then exhale, come back into your half lifted position. Tiniest bend in your knees. Couple more breaths here. Look at your feet, make sure they have enough space between one another to support your lower back. And then press to your feet, inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, halfway down. Long in your neck. You should start to feel this still at the backs of your legs. And without overly tugging, that's why you keep the slight bend in your knees. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, reverse it to that half lifted position, Ardha Uttanasana. And then go through that a few more times on your own. So you're just going to come to stand and return to your half lift. So just those 2 spaces. For as long as you need in either space. And even though you might feel it majority in your legs, don't forget about your upper body, nice and bright, nice and open. Just as long as your legs. I'm going to take 1 more minute through these 2 postures. Maybe you need to feel your feet a little more, so all 10 toes rise up off your mat. So you can feel where the pose starts at that little tripod underneath each foot. It also lights up your legs in a little bit different way. Go ahead and move through one more of each. If your toes are up, let your toe pads press down. If you've got your blocks, set them up and off to the sides as you find one high plank position. Separated feet, separated hands, straight elbows, straight knees. Push the floor away and then pull your toes and wrists towards each other. Do that a few times. Push the floor away, pull your wrists and toes towards one another. Do that one more time. And then your next out breath, knees down. One elbow down at a time, coming into Sphynx pose. An old Sphynx, elbows only as wide as your shoulders, right underneath your shoulders. Unless it feels like too much on your lower back, then you're welcome to take your elbows ahead of your shoulders to lessen that curve. But the more you bring your elbows in, the more opening in your chest, a little bit more energy. And then pull the middle of your shoulder blades together. So just feel that pull of them together, that spread of your collarbones opening into your chest. And very similar to your plank, push down through your forearms. Pull your elbows and hips towards one another. And then do that 2 more times. Push through your forearms, pull back through your elbows. And then when you're ready, spread your elbows wide, stack your hands, put your forehead on your hands, bend your knees, and windshield wiper your feet side to side. Nice, calm, low back twist. Feet back up to the ceiling. Extend your legs, tuck your toes, and lift your kneecaps and thighs off the floor. Your chest and head are still staying right down, but you're just feeling some length in your legs. Good. Exhale, let your quads and knees come back down. Untuck your toes. Return into Sphynx. Or Sphynx with your elbows a little bit ahead if that's the better choice. Now try to pull your front ribs, right, like right here, this area, forward just a little bit. Just enough. And if it's too much, don't do it. 2 times, push through your forearms, pull your hips and your elbows towards one another. And then slowly come back down, elbows wide, palms stack, forehead there. Bend your knees, windshield wipers side to side. Maybe you need to roll your ankles around, move your feet, move your toes. And then bringing your feet back up, tuck your toes, let your knees, your thighs come off the floor, and just feel that different extension at your legs. Exhale, quads and knees down, untuck your toes, one more visit to Sphynx, where it feels appropriate for your elbows, but try something different with your hands. So if you always interlace, maybe just separate them flat hands. If you always have separated flat hands, maybe try with your palms up. It's gonna open your shoulders a little bit more. And no matter where you are, push through your elbows and forearms again. Pull your elbows and waist towards each other. You might even lift a little bit at the front of your pelvis off the ground. And that might feel a little more stabilizing for your low back. Instead of letting everything dump down, you might need to lift up a little bit. One more breath in. Exhale, last time, coming down, stacking your palms. Put your forehead down, windshield wipers. Softly side to side. Feet up, toes tucked behind, lift your knees, your thighs, reach, reach, reach. Good, thighs and knees down. Forehead stays down. Lift your forehead, lift your elbows. It's like a cobra, but your hands are glued to your forehead. Just a little levitation off the ground. One more inhale. Exhale down. Bring your hands underneath you. Press up into your plank. Knees up, knees down. Just don't do the worm. Nice, good, excellent. Downward dog. Big exhale. Followed by a nice full inhale. Walk your feet up to your hands, but get yourself in a half lifted position right as you start to walk up. Reach your arms out, press through your feet, rise up nice and tall, squeeze your glutes at the top. Exhale, take it halfway down. Find your blocks again. Left foot stays up, right leg walks back. Right knee down. Yep, no hurry. And then take it back, half Hanuman. Toes up, ankle working. Slight hinge at your hips, but you're really beaming a diagonal line from your hips up to the crown of your head. You can sit back a little more, but you don't want to put more pressure on your right knee. You just want to feel it in the back of your left leg. One more breath in. Exhale, walk it forward, come into your low lunge. And you can keep the blocks ahead as long as you keep your chest upright, breathing into the front of your right hip. If it feels more supportive to bring the blocks back, bring them back. One more inhale. Exhale, walk your blocks forward, tuck your right toes, back knee up. Inhale, straighten your front leg again. Again, just about to 80%. Hinging at your hips, leaning towards your left leg with a long spine. And then begin to pick up your left foot. So you can start with your toes, the ball of your foot, maybe all the way onto your heel. If it becomes too much, put part of your foot down. 2 more breaths. Then put your left foot all the way down, slight bend in your right knee. Then take some few steps with your right foot up. Halfway lift. Exhale, left foot back. Coming into half Hanuman, slowly, one body part at a time. Left knee, blocks back, hips back. And then right ankle, right toes working. Again, you still want to feel that whoop line all the way up. You can lean forward a little bit, lean back with your hips, but as long as your left kneecap feels happy. Excellent posture. One more breath in and out. Transitioning to your low runner's lunge with an upright torso. So where your blocks need to be is up to you. As long as you can keep that bright attention lifting up. Breathing into your left hip flexor. One more round of inhale and exhale. Slowly let yourself be supported by the blocks. Tuck your left toes, knee rises, and then straighten your right leg. Good. And if it feels like too long of a stride at any point, you can shorten it up. And then start to move your right toes up, right ball of the foot up so you're on your right heel. Again, you can put the ball of your foot back down and just have your toes lifted. And breathe into the feeling. One more inhale. Exhale, right toes down. Instead of walking your left foot all the way up, you're going to come into pyramid pose. So you're just going to take a little step. So your feet are about 2 to 2.5 feet apart, and take them as wide as you need. It's nice to have your blocks somewhere handy and close. Pyramid pose. Look at your kneecaps, teeniest bend. As you trust your feet to hold you, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And then exhale, come halfway down. Inhale, all the way up. I'm gonna move my camera so I'm not the headless yoga teacher. Exhale, halfway down. And just continue that, slow and steady. Hips, shoulders pointed the same way as your right toes. And then you can take a quick look down with your eyes to your left foot. Should be pointed at about 10 or 11 o'clock on a clock face. And think about reaching out through the top of your head as you exhale, come down halfway. Reaching up through the top of your head as you rise back up to stand. 2 more times with your right foot forward. And then as you come all the way up to stand, keep your right foot wide, step your left foot up so you're in a wide mountain pose with your feet. Palms forward, arms by your side. Eyelids up, eyelids down, your call. Just breathe and detect how the right side of your body feels. Let any of those sensations start to quiet. Lift taller as you stand, shoulders farther down as you stand. And hands to your hips, eyes open if they're closed. Other side, so just a pretty big step back with your right foot. Now look at your right toes, somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock. Notice if you're opening up towards your right foot. Try to take both of your hips like laser pointers straight ahead and your shoulders are in that same direction. Up. Exhale, reach to the top of your head halfway down. You don't have to go all the way to that point. It might just be a third of the way down. Inhale up. So same thing, second side. Exhale, reaching long as you hinge forward. Nice and steady. Again, letting your feet push into the floor as you lift up. So it's kind of a counter action. You're pushing down to lift up. You're hinging at your hips, reaching up through the top of your head as you come halfway down. Good, nice and steady in your pace. Using the energy of your legs and your breath. Take about 2 more. Up on your inhale, halfway on your exhale. Good job paying attention to your knees. And then when you lift up, step up with your right foot. So wide-faced mountain pose, palms forward. Shoulders up, back and down. And just collect yourself to see what's happening on your left side. And not necessarily in comparison to your right side, just giving your left side all your mental attention. From your foot, up your ankle, knee, hamstrings, hip, waist, shoulder, all the way up to the left side of your neck. When you're ready, open your eyes. Hands to your hips, just one more pyramid on each side. Only change is you can either hold opposite elbows behind your back. You can take reverse namaste with your fingertips pointed down, elbows pulling back. You can take that same thing but with your fingertips pointed at your back like this, or you can take it with your pinkies at your back. Your palms don't have to touch together, but you can bring your wrists together as well. So just some variation, and it's not just about, right, trying to like touch your hands or your elbows. I want you to think about pushing the front of your shoulders back, but without doing this, right? So you want to keep your belly towards your back, your ribs towards your upper back as you press your shoulders back in whatever arm variation you've got. Inhale up. Exhale, you can go 3/4 of the way this time. Tiny bend in both knees. And let your head feel heavy. So you can really let your neck release here. If you want to go more towards your leg, you can. And it's all right to have a little rounded back to get yourself lower, but then try to reach your spine longer. And notice how it affects your right leg. Pyramid pose. Just 3 more breaths. Very slowly, use your entire inhale. Press from your feet, bend your knees. Inhale, rise all the way, all the way, all the way up. If you feel a little lightheaded, you can release and put a little pressure on the top of your head. And then work to the other side. Left foot up, right foot back. Try to go for the same variation on your arms, with your belly and your back working towards your middle as a team. Inhale up. Exhale anywhere from halfway to 3/4 of the way. Shoulders back. If you want to go farther, you can. Let your head go down. And see how your left leg reacts. See also how your breath reacts. If it stops, bring it back. And if you are down farther towards your leg, or anywhere close to your leg, now inhale, think about your spine a little longer. So a little less cat back, excellent. Press to your feet, tiny bend in your knees so it doesn't yank at your lower back. Inhale, come up slow. Good, relax your elbows. Bring your feet together and come into a mild chair pose. Mild chair pose. Now I know a lot of you have done this with me before. It's like a warrior 3, but with both of your knees bent. It's called Pharaoh's pose. Blocks are still close to you for a reason. You can put them underneath your hands. Start in a mild chair pose. Right foot stays down, left foot comes up. Both knees are bent. So both knees are bent. And then your work is to push the sole of your left foot up using your left glute. Nice. Make sure your right knee is bent. So it's more of your quad working. And then you can, if you like, from Pharaoh's pose, inhale, take it into a warrior 3, straight legs, straight-ish legs. And then exhale back into a Pharaoh's pose. Maybe 2 more times. Inhale, straightening. Exhale, bending. And it can be a small degree. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. It's a lot of leg effort. Release your left foot down. Press to your feet, come up to stand. Squeeze your glutes at the top to relax your hip flexors. Just feel some of that heat dissipate. And then to the other side, mild chair pose. Hands on the blocks, blocks under your shoulders. Left foot grounded, right bottom of your foot working towards the ceiling. Good, I can see everybody's knees bent. Keep that there for now. Press the bottom of your right foot up like you could hold a tray on it. Yep. And then move between Pharaoh's pose, this one, Inhale, warrior three. Exhale, both knees bend, Pharaoh. Inhale, warrior three. Maybe one more time. Inhale. Bend both knees. Softly set your right foot down. With a long spine, inhale, come up into chair pose with your arms lifted. Behind back. Inhale, come up to stand. Good, do a little shake out of your legs or a little heel to bum. Gentle kick to stretch out your quads. One more Pharaoh's pose on each side. You do not have to take the blocks away. It's a lot to put all your body weight on one leg. But if you do want to work a little bit more on balance, start in your chair pose, hands down. Move the camera down so everyone can see. Right, grounded in your foot. Left knee up. This time we're just going to stay in Pharaoh's pose. Both hips are pointed towards the ground. You can float your hands off the floor. You can work with your thumbs at your chest. For around anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths, you can always put your hands back down. Good. You'll feel it a lot in your left leg, your right leg and your left glute. When you're done, set your left foot down, feet separated, half lift, little length for your hamstrings. This is why the blocks are nice, so it keeps your spine at attention. And then to the other side, and start in a chair pose, so your left foot is more in the middle. Knees bent, right foot, there it goes, up, 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 up. Absolutely amazing place to stay, or float your fingers, hands at your chest. You can always bring them back down. 3 to 5 breaths. Still try to keep your bent left knee at your middle toe. And then when you're ready, right foot down, halfway lift. Good, set your blocks off to the side. One final plank pose. Think about pushing your hands into the floor, pushing the floor away, pulling your wrists and your toes together. Even if, right, when I naturally do that, I do a little bit of a bum lift. That's okay. One more breath in. Exhale, knees down, Sphynx pose. So just so you ladies know, today's class was inspired by ancient Egypt. So that's why we've done pyramid, Sphynx, and what was the other one? Pharaoh's pose. Just for fun. Press down through your forearms, pull your elbows back towards your waist. Press your shoulders back just like you did in your reverse namaste position. Great place to stay. If you want to take it into seal pose, take your hands out towards the corners of your mat, push into your palms, and you can let your elbows come up a teensy bit. If it's too much, you put your elbows down. Still a great place to be. 3 more breaths wherever you're at. Lift up through your chest. And then when you're ready, slowly come back onto your belly. Palm stack, forehead down. Bend your knees, windshield wiper. And you can let your thighs swivel side to side, a little towards one hip and the other. Straighten your legs behind, toes under, knees up, thighs up. Lengthen to the backs of your legs. Good, and then thighs and knees down. Right arm forward just so you can roll onto your side. Gently move onto your back. Block for supported bridge. So right below the top of your pants are your shorts. The flattest or second highest height are my suggestions. Because I want your lower back to feel supported after all those standing balances and the one-legged balance. You don't really need to put in a lot of effort here. Close your eyes. Hands anywhere where it feels grounding, centered, and let the block do the work. Notice again the pace and place you feel your breath the most. Start to let everything soften, still and quiet. Lessen your muscular effort. And then super slow, you can even keep your eyes closed. Press your feet, slide the block out. If you need any final moving, move in that way. Or just move into a final resting shape, whether it be traditional or more unique to what you need to help really set the tone again, maybe for your entire day. A place where you can embrace soft, still, and quiet. Releasing your breath in all ways. Allowing yourself to just be in the shape that you've chosen. Come back to your breathing, your own personal pace, the place where your breath makes you feel a little better. Whether that's your back, your sides, belly, your chest. Allow your personalized breath to bring you from your resting position into some small movements to whatever way you want to get yourself into a comfortable seated position. So it can be via your side, rolling up. Any way, no right way, no wrong way. Sit on something. Fingertips, fingers and palms. Take a gander down at the tops of your fingertips. Just notice this different perspective. And you can hold this or gently close down through your eyes. As you come back to the tone you chose for your practice or for your Friday. See if you've gotten a little closer to it. And let it trickle into the rest of your morning, afternoon, and evening. And with one breath all together, slow inhale, slow exhale. Thank you all so much for your time and energy here. I'll see you all again soon. Thank you, thank you. Good to see you all again. Have a great weekend. I have still been putting up, I record them all and put them up on the YouTube page, so if you ever miss a class, it should be there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Susan. Thanks for coming.